Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, or good whatever it is, wherever the hell you are on this planet. I am Chris, Atheist Pastor. Welcome to a conspiracy chat between Bobby Mack, who is my favourite flat earther, my best mate, and an avid follower of conspiracies, and Jay, who is probably the best debunker of conspiracies, or the best deep diver of conspiracies I think that's going around on the internet. I may be a little bit biased on both, of course. So welcome to what is actually very secretly the first thing we're doing on Hereticals. What's Hereticals, some of you might ask? Well, if you come to the after party afterwards, you can find out. So that being said, let me bring in tonight's participants. So Bobby, Mac, and Jay, how are we, gentlemen?
Howdy, howdy.
Good evening, good morning, hello.
Too easy. So what we've discussed is tonight's going to go for an hour. I'm going to drop out and let these two guys have the conversation because they don't need me interjecting and talking. And we're going to see where it goes. I'll jump in as needed, if needed, and towards the end, when we're getting close to time, I'll come in. If there's any questions, put them in the chat, and maybe the last 5 or 10 minutes we can cover those if we need to. Otherwise, I'm going to drop out and pretty much let you guys do what you do. So for those who don't know, Bobby Mack, he's been on the channel a couple of times. He's, as I said, right into the conspiracies, has a pretty good base level understanding of a lot of them, likes to look at them. Jay from the Nevermore Tavern. If you haven't subscribed to Nevermore Tavern, by the way, subscribe. The link is underneath. Jay used to actually run a channel called End the Conspiracy, which eventually morphed into the Nevermore channel, which looked at and deep dove into a lot of conspiracies, and really there's some interesting stuff. So if you are into conspiracies and you're watching this at some point, check out the link to Nevermore Tavern and go back to the old stuff, because there's some really cool conspiracy stuff in there. So with that being said, I'm going to drop out. I'll let you guys have the conversation. So Jay, if you, I guess, want to control and start the conversation, and we'll see where we go from there. Have fun, gentlemen.
Yep. Thank you.
So let's take a first look because I don't do the science parts. I look into the background stuff like we talked to before.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the big thing is why do you believe that the earth is flat when we've known for so many years that it's not flat?
Well, it's the sort of, it's a tough one to answer because I don't have all the answers. I don't have all the scientific background of it, as we've discussed, but I just sort of started seeing, basically just questioning the reality of what I had discussed, or what I'd been fed and told my whole life, and I sort of ended up just looking. Yes, you go into YouTube, and sort of, yes, you do end up Googling stuff, but a lot of people end up doing that. That's the books of modern day are. That's how people get their information from. So I did jump on YouTube, looked at a few videos. It saved me having to do the scientific experiment myself, which is a bit of a cop-out. But and then I started seeing a few more videos and reading a bit more stuff and hearing a few more things that made me sort of look into it, and I've been stuck in it ever since.
Okay, so what the biggest thing, because I've always wanted to actually talk to a flat Earth about this, is, a lot of them, and I don't know if this is your stance, but a lot believe that NASA and the government is lying about it and telling us that it's a globe when it's actually flat. Is that something you believe in?
I do believe NASA is obviously a big part of it. That's where we get a lot of our information from. That was pretty much the first space agency that came up. Before that, I think it was the OSS or something like that. It was beforehand, and then so basically they're because they were the one that were running the narrative of it. That was what we got to see. So whatever they were showing us, we were led to believe that was true because we were seeing it on this television. And especially like when televisions were just coming out at them days, so the pictures were really crappy. it was really easy to manipulate and make it. It was looking shit anyway with the televisions back in them days.
Mm.
So I do think it was a control thing by them for whatever purpose. If it's still part of the big picture, the New World Order sort of thing, but nobody really knows what's going on. It could be all sort of, which does come in a lot of conspiracies, it's all decompartmentalization. So one section will know more than the other section and knows more than the other section. So I think deep down, I think that the higher people up there do know what is going on, whether they're flat, whether they're round, whether it's a flat surface in an ellipsoid shaped planet. I don't believe that we are on a flat disk flying up through the sky. I don't believe that at all. I just think we are just stationary. We're just stuck, and that's us. We don't move through space, and that's the thing as well. I think space was like the final frontier. It got everybody excited about it, and it got people excited for a hope of what could be beyond the stars, so to say. And that just all came into it. Maybe it's some sort of like propaganda, sort of at the same time. Like it could be stuff like that. So yeah.
Okay, so before I touch on that, I do want to just real quick. So you do believe in a new world order?
Yes, I do. I would say
okay.
so. There is some sort of new world order.
We'll come back. We'll come back
yes.
to that.
Oh, yep. No, because we will jump about, but then we'll come back.
That's like my bread and butter. So the Illuminati and the Freemasons. So, but you realize there's like 160 space agencies in the world. So for the Earth to not be a sphere, every single government has got to believe that.
Yep.
And we've got countries that hate our guts. The Russians would have been the first ones, especially in the 60s, to say, haha, no, the United States fucked up. So to actually think that there's some conspiracy with the NASA space agency to hide the shape of the Earth, or if it's moving, it doesn't fit. You can't.
It doesn't make sense. No,
yeah, you can't. That many people for this many years,
yes,
it's not going to work.
But at the same time, in saying that, the part of me, see, there is some stuff I still question, and I still think of that. I'm thinking, surely not everybody can be involved in this.
Mm-hmm.
But then another part of me thinks, well, maybe to a certain degree, when you've been brought up learning a certain way, and that's all you know, that's all you're going to look into. So my brain thinks part of it is that people aren't looking for it, so they're just going along with everything else because that's what the norm is. But I don't think it is the norm. I think it's people, and then because what happens is people that do tend to normally come out with some kind of groundbreaking information tend to get silenced, or they get ridiculed and stuff like that. So I think there's that basis of it as well that can happen.
Okay, yeah, no, I understand where you're coming from on that. Like I said, I've looked into it. I've looked at one side to the other. So, I got to ask this question to move on. Do you believe? Are you a Christian?
No, not religious at all.
Okay, so that right there should help you out with these conspiracy theories, because almost every conspiracy theory will lead back to the Christian religion. Okay, if you dig deep enough, almost every single one will lead back to the Christian religion. With NASA, the biggest thing is a lot when it first started. There was a whole thing with Operation Paperclip, bringing the Nazi scientists over. It wasn't just the Nazi scientists though.
Russians and that,
Nazis, Russians,
Polish.
They brought every scientist they could over. So a lot of people don't realize it wasn't just Nazis that came over during Operation Paperclip.
No, but I think what people tend to more focus on is the fact of the background of some of the Nazis that were brought over, and some of the Russians and some of the Poles. Don't get me wrong.
No, I understand that.
Yeah, so I think that was because there was a lot of them involved with the SS and probably had close ties, very, very close ties to Hitler. I said, Werner von Braun was creating the A2 rocket,
Mm-hmm.
and that was designed to blow up America. It was designed to destroy America, and then they started. He got on with Jack Parsons, and then they started building it down, building the exact same rocket to send America to the moon.
Yeah, well, no, I understand. I like I said, I've done that research. I've actually looked into it. But what I was saying is, it's not just that aspect of it, because if you look back, if you followed through the rabbit holes like I have, because like I said, this is what my channel was about when I first started. You're gonna find out that a lot of people believe that the Freemasons and the Illuminati. Ooh, did we lose him? I don't want to continue. He's kind of buffering.
So I'll quickly jump back in while we've lost Bobby Mack. I don't want to blame the Illuminati, but I will blame the Illuminati. Oh dear! It's always that way. The conversation's actually, starting to go. It's interesting you started with the flat Earth, although I guess it's a good sort of place to open. But what I really think is interesting about Bobby Mack, as opposed to a lot of other people, is he's not religious.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where it's interesting. And we've got you back.
Yeah, sorry, I pressed the power button at the side and it just shut the computer.
Mate, I was on here defending you, blaming the Illuminati. So,
well, maybe it is. Maybe we're getting too close to the truth. We're not even getting close to the truth yet.
See, there you go.
They're already shutting me down. Sorry, you were saying the rabbit holes that you'd went down.
I'm going to drop back out.
Yeah, all right, buddy. Sorry, you were saying the rabbit holes you went down.
Well, yeah, what I was saying. So then, you look back, and a lot of this stuff is like with NASA and the science programs and stuff is all they say is controlled by the Freemasons, and actually not even the Freemasons, the 33rd level Freemasons, which are supposed to be the Illuminati in the New World Order. Well, the problem with that, the 33rd degree Masons only exist in one branch of the Freemasons,
right.
And that's the Scottish Rite. And it's only given to those who have gone above and beyond in their community and within the Freemasons, and it's an honorary title. It's not it's not anything special. It's not, it's special, but it's not a special. It's not a higher branch. I mean, all it is they go from a 32 to a 33. That's it. I mean, they hold no powers. They're not on ruling councils or anything. I mean, they're not even heads of the Freemasons. But back in 1776, when the Freemasons started, well, the Freemasons started actually way back in the time of King Solomon. They actually started as the Stonemasons, and they went from there. But in 1776, Weishaupt created the Illuminati. And then in 1778, with the help of the Catholic Church, the Roman Catholic Church, the King of Belgium disbanded all secret societies in Belgium. So the Illuminati broke up. And Weishaupt actually went to retire. He retired and lived the rest of his life out on a farm. Mm-hmm. But the Catholic Church kept pushing the Illuminati. Well, this is this, and this is why, and they're trying to infiltrate. So it's a propaganda, PR nightmare for the Freemasons because of the Catholic Church. So whenever you hear something about Freemasons or the Illuminati and the New World Order, you got to take in consideration that the Christian Church is actually a lot behind what's going on, because they fear that they're going to actually overrun the Christian Church. Mm-hmm. Okay, so anytime anything's brought up, New World Order, end of days, that Operation Blue Beam, anything like that, you've got to remember, how real is this, and how much of this is actually just Christian propaganda? Because a lot of your conspiracy theorists, not all of them, obviously we've got an example right now, but a lot of them are really heavy-duty Christians.
No, I noticed that. And I do notice that with a lot of flat earthers, they do heavily preach the biblical aspect of it. To be fair, there is a lot of references in the Bible that do describe pillars of the earth and as above, so below and stuff like that. There is a lot of...
There's only three. And they contradict all three of them.
Well,
One
the
of
Bible contradicts itself all the
oh
time.
yeah, yeah, it contradicts himself all the time. Well, there's actually only three parts of the Bible that actually, if I remember right, that actually talk about the shape of the earth. One that it sits on the pillars. Another one that it's as far as a flat plane as far as you can see, and another one he talks about going on the mountain to see the four corners of the earth. And then it only mentions the firmament, I believe, in the book of Genesis. I could be wrong. My biblical scholarship is not as high.
Oh no,
as
either am I. But I did know yes, with Werner von Braun on his tombstone. Obviously, it's got Psalm 19:1, which has basically about the firmament. If you look at, there's like heaps of different translations of it, and they do translate to the firmament. So he's mentioning that. He's got that. That's all he's got in his tombstone for some reason. I know Chris did say on one of the last streams that he did turn to religion later on in life, but I just think it was a weird psalm for him to have chosen.
Well, I can't speak for Braun. I haven't looked into that.
He would have been an interesting man to meet, I think.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't looked into that much about it. Like I said, I tend to go. I want to know the histories behind it, not the reasonings.
Because that does help. Yeah, what happens in the past works
for the future.
Yes.
Because I want to move on because I don't want to stick to one topic because we got a little bit of we're limited time here. But I recommend two channels for you to check out. I want you to look at Res Rhetoric and Team Skeptic. The two of them will knock out the math and prove and show you exactly step by step on their videos on how the earth cannot be flat. All right. So, I mean, you've looked at the YouTube videos with the people claiming these are the reasons why it's flat. Go check out Res Rhetoric and Team Skeptic, and they'll show you why it's not flat.
Yeah, I have heard that name, Res Rhetoric, before, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've had a look at him, but I have heard that name before. I did actually come across, I did send it to Chris and told him to send it to yourself and Amanda to have a look. It's basically, it's like a big mathematical equation, and it says geocentric. This is the Department of Defense.
Is that the one from 1963?
It could have been, something like that, possibly, or maybe some of the 70s, 60s or 70s. I can't remember the date on it exactly, but it does have, and it's got flattening of the Earth, and it keeps saying geocentric. It says quite a few things on there. So basically, it describes the Earth as like an ellipsoid.
Yeah, but no, I know exactly which one you're talking about, and
it's just a flat plane on the inside of it.
Now
it's very interesting.
Well, yeah, it's an interesting topic, but you're not getting the context before and afterwards. You're just getting that little snippet of it. So that's with something like that, you've got to make sure, and it'll help you out as you're looking into your conspiracy theories of getting the context before and after. Because for one, the biggest video I have on my channel right now is what Albert Pike actually said about Lucifer, and because they take a lot of things where they talk about. Well, in Morals and Dogma, Albert Pike calls Lucifer, the light bringer. He's the guy.
Say that bringer of the light. Yeah,
but that's not what he says. If you read the two or three sentences before and the 5 or 6 after that quote, he specifically says, "Do not worship Lucifer. You're to worship God." But the conspiracy theorists, they take that one little spot that calls Lucifer the light bringer. And that's what they run with, just like
of course, yes.
So make sure when you're looking at stuff, make sure that you're finding the context before and after, because that'll help a lot. I mean, that's a lot of people don't. They see one thing and they just run with it. I got a guy at work that he hears one simple thing, and boom, he runs with it. He doesn't look at the fact that there's more to it than that little bit. You caught one little sentence out of like a 5-paragraph thing, and you're running with that one little sentence. You're not taking the.
Yeah, no, I do. Yeah, I do see people. I can understand how that can happen because people just see that and it jumps out to them. I was like that when I heard about Donald Trump telling people to drink bleach, and I heard that and I was like, no, hang on, there's a little bit more to it than this. And I went in and I actually read it. I actually heard what he said, And to me, it didn't sound like he told people to drink bleach.
No,
So
no.
that's the thing. Like he was he was sort of like thinking out loud, sort of like, could we use this as like a possibility? Like not talking. He was talking to somebody else. It's not like he was addressing the nation. And that's what I mean. Like people take one thing out of context.
Yeah, it's like there was. I mean, just to think about it was freaking stupid. But but yeah, he never once said to actually inject yourself with cleaner or something. You just
and
asked
how many
if there
people?
was
And do you know how? I think there's a few people have done it or have died doing it in the States. I think.
Oh yeah, people stupid. They hear Trump said drink bleach, so they drank bleach, and yeah,
and it was like the hydroquinoline or whatever it was, and the people ate the fish food. The people ate the fish food and all that because it's the same, and it's like, like, obviously I feel sorry for the people that died, but still, it's just silly. Like, but that's what I mean. People do take to concentrate on one aspect of it and run with that aspect of it, and it could be the same thing with conspiracy theories. We will find one aspect of it, and as you said, you've got a mate at work that just jumps on it straight away. I know a lot of other guys at work and stuff like that, and other people that I know, they will sort of like we'll discuss it and we'll sort of try to find the background information on it. I do listen to a lot of different podcasts. That's where I got a lot of my information, and then I go searching for stuff that sparks my interest. Listening to certain podcasts and stuff like that, which is good. So to me, it's like I listen to podcasts instead of music on the way to work. So that's what gets.
I listen to podcasts. If I'm not listening to a book when I'm at work. So
actually, I just want to say can I just bring someone up quickly? Actually, about an audiobook. I started one this morning called "The Creature of Jekyll Island."
Never heard of that.
No, either had I heard about it until last night, I think it was, and I got the audiobook of it, and it's basically looking at the American financial system and the Federal Reserve Bank and what goes on there, and that's fucking interesting, man. Like how it just. I said I've only listened to it today, so I haven't really picked up too much of it, but it's pretty much just explaining how money is nothing. You know what I mean? It's just bits of paper that just go about. I know how all these countries have went to war with each other and done all these operations and stuff, and it's. I said everything ties in. That's what I say. Everything's a big jigsaw puzzle. All this PC stuff mixing together for everything, not just for conspiracies, but for real life as well. So you've got all these real life events that are happening, but then if you actually look into them, you can find heaps of conspiracies about them. But not all of them are true. Yeah. There's only some but you have to go looking for them. But if you're just focusing on one aspect, you're not going to go any further.
That's the biggest key, because most conspiracies do have truth in them. But you've got to sort through what's true and what's the bullshit coming through it.
It's hard,
There's a couple of things in the chat I did want to let you know, because I
haven't been keeping up with the chat.
No, I understand. That's why I'm going to read it out to you.
Sorry, no, that's okay.
I mentioned Red's Rhetoric and Team Skeptic, but Math Pig also said you check out Fight the Flat Earth. Greater Sapien. If you want to, one of them, who was it? Godless Scummer says, Ranty Flat Earth is the best at proving.
Right. I want to make a point about that video, right? I actually went back and watched that Jen's little corner video of debunking Ranty, debunking conspiracy cats, right? And I brought up a flight tracker of Sydney to Santiago. Okay. Then I brought up the map that they had with the triangle going up to. They had the two yellow lines going up and the red one going straight across above New Zealand. Now they were saying it can't do that because the flight path has to go south of New Zealand. Okay. Now I looked at the Gleason's map, which is like a azimuthal equidistant map. But it's called the Gleason's map. It actually has scientifically and theoretically proven on it, and it looks like it's basically a flat Earth map. And if you look at the direction of where the plane goes from Sydney to Santiago, and then you look at it on a flat Earth, it goes the exact same way. It's really, again, I don't know if I'm picking up on that because that's what I notice, or if that's just how it has to fly. I don't know, but it just doesn't seem to make much sense why it takes that big weird curve round.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Anyway, no, I know, but I just when I was watching that video and I was sort of doing a bit of research while they were doing it, and I was like, Yeah, okay. So, but no, yeah, I've only Conspiracy Cats and Ranty have only came to me over the last month or two. I've only noticed their name. So
Yeah. Like I said, there's a bunch of them out there, and they will, especially if you listen to their live debates, because a lot of the questions you have brought up, they'll bring, the regular flat earthers will bring up, and they'll, especially Team Skeptic, Reds, Fight the Flat Earth, the three of them right there. I mean, almost every other day it seems like they're hammering home onto another flat earther. No, that's not how it is. Well, it does this. No, it doesn't do that. It does this, and this is how we know it does this.
yeah,
So,
I know. But then there's that part of me that does think about the indoctrination part of it. And I know we've got all this scientific fact and proven, scientific proof that we have there that we can see. But again, that conspiratorial part of me thinks, yeah, but if this has been going on for thousands of years, we're not going to know any different. You know what I mean, it's like that.
See,
what was that? The Village, the M. Night Shyamalan movie. When that's how they fought, they lived. They didn't know any different. You know what I mean? So part of me still thinks like that. Like, is there a possibility that there is that? Because I look at it sort of conspiracy / alternative truths. Because I like to find out what, like yourself, I like to find out what is behind it. Because you can't just go with it, pick something up, and run with it. You know what I mean? So,
well, that's what I said. That's why I recommend Red's Rhetoric, especially Red's, because Red's will walk you step by step in his videos on the math to show you, and he'll give you.
I don't understand the math.
I know.
So it doesn't
I
make
don't
any
understand the
sense
math. I don't understand the math either. But when he walks you through it, he goes, "Okay, we know that this is this because it's always this. So we take this with this, and it's going to equal this, and this right here means that this over here can't happen."
Yeah.
So I mean, so he'll.
Okay.
So that's, you don't have to know the math to understand why it works the way it does compared to what like the flat earthers say. So I want to pull away from the flat earth because we spent more time on that than I wanted to.
Let me ask you, what's your, if anybody asks you about conspiracies, what's your main one that you go to? What's your first one that you think about?
Freemasons.
Okay.
I spent a lot of time researching Freemason, the conspiracies and stuff behind the Freemasons and stuff. Like I got my symbol videos that I do. Those were started because I hear so much of the Freemason symbolism and everything.
Yeah.
It's like
the 33s and the
no, because my very first video, the very first one I ever did on my channel was this lady. It was not this year's Super Bowl, but last year's Super Bowl with Maroon 5, and she's talking about the Freemasons and look at the V's are everywhere, inverted pyramids. Yeah, it's like, no, lady, V is for 5, Maroon 5, and in Freemasonry, a V actually is the Masonic symbol for the nail. So it's not even what any of them said with. So so Freemasons is where I my biggest.
Your main focus that you enjoy. Yeah, I actually found out after my father died that he was in the Freemasons in Scotland. Actually, I had no idea.
Yeah, I had 2 uncles that were both 32nd degree Masons.
That's all. That was all around about the same time as I started getting into conspiracies more. But I'd always been interested in them, but then hadn't really sort of focused too much on them. And then the flat earth thing came around about 3 years ago, and then that was the same time that I found out my dad was a Freemason. So it started me sort of looking into it a bit more. That's probably what got me looking into it. And I was thinking, and I was joking with the boys, I said, "Fucking hell, boys!" I said, "My dad was in the Freemasons, man. He could have been part of the Illuminati." Just like having a joke. Does that make me part of the Illuminati then? Fucking hell, Christ.
So Chris had mentioned something to me that I wanted to ask you about, and he said you believe there's a conspiracy behind 9/11. Before we go any farther, though, he did say you do believe people passed away in 9/11, right? Okay.
Of course.
See, that's my biggest thing. I don't have an issue if people think there's a conspiracy theory behind 9/11.
No,
it's when you deny that people actually passed away during that. Usually,
No.
I'll shut off and I'll walk out, or I'll mute
No,
you.
no, yes, it was such a horrible event, and that was like the modern day JFK. You know what I mean? It was like
Yeah.
you knew where you were at that time exactly. You'll never
I can
forget
tell
that
you
moment.
exactly what I was doing.
I know. So was I. I was in my mate's house in Boom Boom Room in Bristol with Nathan Shane. We were there chilling out, and we were just watching it on the news, and it was like, oh my fucking god, man! You know what I mean? So,
I was on my way to work when I heard it come over the news, over the radio. So yeah. But what is the biggest? What's the biggest theory that you believe about 9/11? That you know what I mean?
There's a lot. It's a big fucking topic. I'll break it down. My main ones of it are to start a war, so like a modern day Northwoods, Operation Northwoods. It was a financial thing. A lot of people benefited financial wise, and it. I don't think it was a political thing. I don't really think it didn't really have anything to do with politics. I think it was more about. To me, it seemed at the time I was fascinated by it just because I'd never seen anything like this before. But it wasn't until it was a few years later when I started getting into the hidden truths behind it, like the architects and all that said, and but it's not just the buildings themselves. It's like Building 7 and Building 6, the Pentagon, the one the one in the field. I can't remember the place it was. Pennsylvania. That was it. How they didn't seem to be any wreckage of the aeroplane in the field. The one in the Pentagon, there wasn't wing shape going in. It looked like a missile had gone in. All the cameras had gone out. It's just all very fishy. And then you look at was it Donald Rumsfeld had come out the day before and said to them about $2 trillion was missing. And they had a lot of paperwork in Building 7 that just collapsed. That just looked like a controlled explosion. Just do. It's like that wasn't even impacted. That was where a lot of financial records and stuff like that were.
Have you looked into the 9/11 Commission report?
I haven't looked into it thoroughly, but I have looked into some of it. I've glanced over it, but I haven't.
I recommend looking at the 9/11 Commission report.
But then you've got to look at. Sorry to interrupt you, but then you've got to look at who's involved with writing that.
I know, but what I'm saying is start with the Commission's report, and if you find something fishy in the Commission's report, then look farther from there. I can't tell you about any of the financial stuff. Just the financial is the first time I've heard about being financially. I've heard the reason to go to war.
Yes.
That one I've heard.
The financial one with a guy called Larry Silverstein or Larry Silverstein, his name was, and he'd not long before the attack happened, he insured the buildings, renewed their insurance, and added terrorist attack on them. Literally, I want to say like 3 weeks or 3 months, a very, very short period of time. And when he got the insurance company agreed, because they were like, what's the chance of it happening? Even though it had happened before, a plane was at the Empire State Building or the World Trade Center in like 1920 or 1930. A plane had actually crashed into the World Trade Center or the Empire State Building or something like that anyway, and it just left a big fucking hole in the side of the building.
Oh, I think we lost him again. There you go. You froze for a second there.
No, I'm here. I know. I think I forgot my train. I went off my train of thought. What I was originally on.
No, that's fine. 9/11.
Sorry to interrupt you. I remembered what it was. So yes, Larry Silverstein had just taken out insurance, and he ended up getting paid out double. He ended up making like 4 or 5. I want to say like $1 trillion. He got some ridiculous payout for both of the towers going down because he wanted to get paid double. Now, there is a big financial aspect in it if you look at it, but that's what's interesting. There's so many different aspects of it that it's too much to try and comprehend really, like what this story is. And then obviously you've got the passport that survived. You know what I mean? You've got all these sort of like little things. But yeah, as I said, I honestly believe like it was like nearly 3,000 people died. You know what I mean? So it was absolutely horrific. You know what I mean? So, but that's it. I don't know how people can't see people died. I know, like I know people talk about Project Bluebeam or Bluebeam with the holograph and all that. They're saying the planes and all that. I think the planes did hit. It's hard to tell because then you can see some footage but then you're seeing footage and you don't know if it's been doctored and you're like, oh, it's fucking hard to try and to pinpoint everything. But there's so much footage out there. It's crazy.
Do you believe in Project Bluebeam?
Yes.
Okay, let me stop you right there. Project Bluebeam is a rejected script from the original Star Trek series.
Am I thinking of Bluebeam or Blue Book? Hang on a minute.
Bluebeam is the big hologram for the New World Order.
Bluebeam. That's what I'm thinking of. Bluebeam.
That's an actual rejected script from the 1960s Star Trek. Somebody found it and said, "Holy crap!" And they basically made their own conspiracy, and the conspiracy theorists have run with it. It was a rejected script from the 1960s Star Trek. It wasn't Gene Roddenberry. It was one of the writers wrote it, and they never used it.
Right, you can go to educate-yourself. Can I say website names on here?
I don't see an issue. Why not?
It's educate-yourself.org, Project Bluebeam, and it's got this big document about it here, which I've went over. So that could be something for you to read as well.
Yeah, well, like I said, the whole premise behind Project Bluebeam comes from a rejected Star Trek script. So you kind of got to go, whether or not somebody ran with it off of that or whatnot, but that's where
you look at the holodeck. You know what I mean? So you look at what technology is able to do now when they bring you see it on the computer screen on the like at E3, and there's nothing there, but they're building this. They do have the technology there, so that's why I don't see why they wouldn't think to use it.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying on that aspect, but the premise behind the government creating this hologram to cause fear and panic came from a script itself. Now, whether or not the government will use the hologram for something else, I wouldn't see why not. At some point, we have the technology, but the actual basis for that conspiracy theory started from a Star Trek, rejected Star Trek script.
Okay, but it could be a case of like what came first, the chicken or the egg.
Yeah, well, the script came first because Project Bluebeam, if I remember right, wasn't. I think it came out in like the late 90s. It was when that conspiracy theory originated. It was like in the either 94? Early or late 90s.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but no, it's I haven't looked too much into that one, but yeah, it's something that's quite interesting.
Yeah. Let's see here. Is there a let's ask this question.
Is there a conspiracy that I don't believe?
No. Do you you know who David Icke is, right?
Oh, of course, yes.
Okay. Do you believe the bullshit that comes out of Ike's mouth?
Well, I didn't at the start, but a lot of what he says has seemed to have come to fruition to a certain degree. And he just got completely banned on YouTube. He got completely demonetized for whatever reason. That makes me sort of think it's a little bit sus as well. I'm like, why did you shut somebody down? That was on that London Real Live. I didn't get a chance to watch that, actually. And yeah, he got completely shut down. So who was he affecting? Now, one of the rabbit holes I have been getting down to, which I will mention while we're on this sort of subject of David Icke, is it's even horrible sort of saying it, but the trafficking and satanic ritual abuse of kids that are happening around the world.
Okay. I believe
that's still connected to David Icke, but I'll get back to that. But
no. The human trafficking is definitely a thing. Now the issue I have with that is they try to play it off as it's a satanic Illuminati only the rich people thing, and that's not true. If you look at most of the world that deals in human trafficking, it's not just that they're not just looking for kids. They traffic in all ages. So
of course, yes, yeah, but
they're not just being sold to the super rich. They're being sold to anybody that can afford them. I mean, in some places, like in China, from what I understand, you can buy somebody for like $100.
Mm.
So I mean, you don't even have to be rich for this. So
And that's the thing. Like people who would tend to buy somebody for $100 will tend to have the fact in their head that they can do whatever they want to this person. You know what I mean?
kind of like hostile.
Very much so. And it's, do you know, on the dark web, they're called red rooms. They're actually, you can watch live footage of people being tortured. I haven't watched it myself. I haven't gone on the dark web.
Oh, there's some creepy shit on the dark web. I've heard.
I know. But I mean, with the amount of children that go missing all over the place, and then you look at, especially in America, you look at the Franklin scandal, Johnny Gosch and stuff like that, and then you look into the 90s with the Clinton administration, all that coming in, and then it goes on to Bush, and then it goes on to Obama. Now, did you know? I don't know that Obama and Bush are related.
No, I've never heard that.
Yes, they are 10th cousins, once removed. And Obama, and I know it goes back, I know, but it's still weird. Like, you think these people have been in power for a long, long time. So their families have been prevalent in history for a long time. So their cousins are all going to stay connected to each other. It's not like just a random family member.
The only
Dick
problem,
Cheney as well.
The only problem I have with that is, I think he's my 8th cousin. I'm related to Gerald Ford, President Ford. So
there you go. Yeah, I know.
But
that's it. Like, but you're like your family.
Do I
the
believe
family section obviously broke off? But if you're planning these things and you're wanting to have this new world order, this one world government, it's a long game. It's a game of chess, a very, very slow game of chess. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. So they're planning ahead. So they've got to put all these people. I think I've heard other people say it like presidents are selected, not elected. So
I know that one because that goes back to the Skull and Bones and the Bohemian Grove.
Yeah,
Stuff like that. That's where the conspiracy theories drip down on that. That's a whole nother hour subject.
Yes, I know. The big Moloch, Moloch.
Which is actually, which is funny because, well, I don't want to get into too much, but the owl in Bohemian Grove, which is the big statue in the middle of the grove, the owl actually was the symbol for the Illuminati, not the all-seeing eye that they say it was. And that's the biggest thing when you look at a conspiracy theory. When you actually look at the history and stuff, they say, well, the eye of providence, that right there's proof that it's the Illuminati. No, the Illuminati symbol was an owl, not the eye, not the eye.
Was that for the wisdom thing then?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
It was an owl. It wasn't the all-seeing eye.
Yeah, well, that's similar to like the snake in the Bible as well. Like, was that them getting knowledge from the snake? Is that aspect of it? Like, have you looked into the I've just had a mind blank. The serpent and the snake
from the Bible?
No. There's a guy called Matthew LaCroix. He's got a really he's really good with this sort of stuff. And it's basically fucking hell, I just had a complete mind blank again. What was that about then? What was I saying again? I just had a complete mind blank. Snake. Serpent and the snake. And that delves quite deep into it, and that goes back. That's where I first heard about this idea of the snake being the knowledge and not being the serpent, as in the devil sort of aspect of it. So yeah, it's quite interesting.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that one.
Yep. It's good to sort of to get. That's why I was looking forward to this chat. You know what I mean? So, and it's been good because it's sort of good to learn up each thing from each other as well. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you've obviously been in it for a long time. I've only been sort of getting back into it the last 3 years. So, but it's good to have these chats. You know what I mean? I like having these discussions and stuff like that with people. So
Yeah, I enjoy talking about conspiracies, but a lot of times you end up getting nut jobs that are so deep down the rabbit hole. No matter what you say, they can't seem to grasp it.
oh, nutty! No, I'm not coming across as too nutty. Then I'm coming across as all right.
No, I just think you need to do some more research. That's all.
Oh, of course, yes. Yeah, I know.
So, what I would suggest, is if you have a conspiracy theory that you believe in, or you hear something, and this goes for anybody else out there that's listening. Excuse me. Look at all the context in it, because you're gonna look back, and like I just told you, the biggest problem with the Illuminati is their symbolism is not what the symbolism actually was. They weren't represented by the Eye of Providence. They were actually represented by the owl. So right there, you've got that problem when the people are going, well, this right here shows you, see the all-seeing eye, it's the Illuminati. No, that's not it at all. The Eye of Providence actually dates all the way back. I'm trying to remember.
Like fucking 17 something.
It was farther back than that. I mean, the Egyptian had it with the Eye of Ra.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Marians had it. The Eye of Providence.
What's your thoughts on the Anunnaki?
The Anunnaki is 100% bullshit, but it is one of my favorite conspiracy
I love
theories.
it. It's so fucking awesome. It's so good.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy a good conspiracy theory, and that whole the Anunnaki one. It's just. I mean, come on, really?
But sometimes, like, there's still some things that I like. I hear things and I read things. It still makes me. You sort of see. You still see connections and stuff. I don't know if that's because when you want to see connections and stuff, when you're I think when you're open to seeing suggestions, you tend to see the suggestion there, and then you can join the dots. But I don't know if that's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. Or if we're not supposed to join the dots.
That's how conspiracy works. That's how conspiracy theories work.
I know.
They'll take something.
It's only been around since the 60s. The term conspiracy theorist, pretty much.
Yeah. The term itself has been around as long as people. But the idea has been around forever. I mean, it's been
a couple hundred years.
Yeah, well, much longer than that. Since you're talking all the way back pre-biblical. With the conspiracy theory, I mean, if you look at it, the conspiracy theories will even date back to the first writings and stuff with their they believe with their gods. If you look at it, you can actually see that their whole belief system and their gods and stuff it's basically a conspiracy theory. Well, this happened, so this has to be this, which is the same thing. Which a conspiracy theorist will think, first off, this happened, so it has to be this, without looking into the context, what's around it, what caused it, why it's there. So it actually goes all the way, I mean, probably, as far back as mankind.
Well, yeah. Do you not think sometimes during your research that some stuff that might sound ridiculous also could sound plausible at the same time?
Yeah, that's why I try to when I'm looking up a conspiracy theory that I come across. What I try to do, first off, I get away from YouTube. I see it on YouTube. That's it. I'll look at a couple of videos on YouTube, get a base, and then I'll go away from YouTube and I'll start doing research, and I'll look it up on different websites. And when each website is saying the exact same thing, that's how you know it's bullshit. Because if it's true, it's going to have deviations into it. Just like it's one of the ways they can tell when going a little off topic here, but that's how when they're interrogating somebody or a couple of people that are involved in something, and when they're interrogating, that's why they ask them the same question over and over and over and over and over, because the truth will be changed a little bit almost every time, where a script and the lies will be the exact same thing every time they ask it, especially if there's a group of people. So if I said, like me and you were sitting here talking, and we look down and it says live on Hereticals, you know, and we say it says live on the Hereticals, and we say that every time it says live on the Hereticals, live on the Hereticals. We know that's bullshit because we know that they didn't see what they seen, because it actually says live on Hereticals. There's no the, and that's kind of the way.
The Mandela effect.
It's not the Mandela effect. It's actually I can't remember the word for it. It's
No, but
I can't.
like thinking that you're seeing something that's.
Well, no.
That's
What
real.
You're thinking pareidolia, but that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the fact that what they're seeing, like me and you got together and we're like, okay, they're going to ask us where we were at, and we're going to tell them we were live on the Hereticals. They know that it's wrong because we weren't on the Hereticals, we were on Hereticals. And it's the same thing. Like if we watch somebody shoot somebody, well, like, you know, 6 people say it was a black guy, you know, or a Mexican or a white guy, and you've got 2 or 3 other people go, well, I think he may have been Middle Eastern, and everybody was sitting there. That's where the problem becomes, because now you got conflicting facts. Yeah. And that's where you got to look at, especially with the conspiracy theories. You always will have conflicting facts.
Of course.
You've got to find out, and you got to do your research. You got to figure out what's going on.
Hard, though.
Oh, it is. It's a pain in the ass. That's why you know, when you hear something,
it's good fun. Like it's good fun. It keeps me busy. You know what I mean?
So, believe me, dude. I've spent hours down rabbit holes, just going from one to another to another to another. But it's the one.
When did you stop your conspiracy one?
Beginning of the year. Because my channel, what I was doing on my channel was actually moving away from it, the conspiracies, and delving into other things. As I was progressing, it was just a normal channel progression. They all do it. You know, you'll start off at one thing, and then, you know, down the line it'll change to something else. So
how long did you do it for?
About a year.
Okay, good. Yeah.
So
you would have covered what was one of your favorite topics that you covered there?
Oh, starseeds.
What? Sorry?
Starseeds.
Yeah, is that the big silver balls that fall out of the sky?
No. Starseeds is.
I'll just have a look. Starseeds.
Oh yeah. Oh, dude, that's a rabbit hole. A lot of people are either starseeds or light bringers, and they're actually reincarnated souls from other places, like the Orion Nebula on the planet, and you know, you died, but your starseed form inhabited this body, and now, yeah.
Well, I thought about that actually. I wonder if when somebody dies, they do become a star. Is it that same context?
No.
No. Okay.
I know what you're talking about. I know which one you're talking about, but no, it's not. It's
this is just my own one.
But no, if you get a chance, it's 100% bullshit. I mean, it's new wavy kind of thinking. It's, you know, free spirit crystals, that whole kind of thing. It's all kinds of fun. So,
what's your thoughts on, like, I don't know too much about it. I don't know if you do, gematria.
It's bullshit. That's pareidolia right there. 100%. Because
you can add the numbers up.
I'll tell you why. Because there's a guy out there, his name is 33UC, and he says anything with the number 33 is part of the conspiracy. It's part of the New World Orders. So anything, it doesn't matter what it is. If it's got 33 in it, and you can pull it up on the gematria or whatever scale you use, if it comes up 33, you know that's part of the thing. His name, 33UC, equals 33. Yeah. There was a couple other ones, because we did this on one of my live streams. Like children is 33, porn is 33, idiot is 33.
There's quite a few that you can join together if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, he tried to tell me that the killer clown, John Wayne Gacy, was part of the whole thing because he killed 33 people.
Mm.
So he was part of the whole 33 agenda.
Yeah. Okay.
You're so full of shit. He was a serial killer, plain and simple.
Yeah, I know.
You just caught him at 33. They suspect there was more, but he was only convicted for 33.
Yeah. No. It's something I sort of I've heard a couple of things about it, but yeah, I haven't sort of looked too much into it myself. So
Yeah, I mean, it's anything. If it happened, if it was like it happened at 4:33, this happened, or there were 33 people in this room when this happened, or
it's funny you say that. Actually, the number 33 has been popping up quite a lot during the coronavirus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I mean, I'm guessing he's all over that one too. I think I blocked him. I mean, he was just bringing up shit that was like, "Are you really?" No. Look at what happened. Because he tried to say that there was a shooting, and the guy shot 33 people. The guy shot 7.
Yeah. Okay.
If you went and looked at any newspaper article, any news feed for that shooting, it was 7 victims, not 33 victims. He shot 7 people, but he was going on.
Yeah, he didn't shoot 33 people, but 7 people died. He just shot 7 people.
He only shot 7. Like, I think 3 people died and 4 were wounded. So there wasn't 33 anywhere. He couldn't even take the 3 and 3 to make it 33.
Oh, no, yeah, he could have just, not done one less.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, the biggest thing is you got to pull the pareidolia away and not see what you want to see. You've got to look at everything. There are so many conspiracies, and I mean everything's got a conspiracy.
What about the moon landing? You think we went?
I do think
landed on the moon.
Yep, I do believe. I do believe, but I can't. I don't know the science behind it, so I can't answer any questions.
It's not really the science you've got to look at. You've got to look at the audio visual representation that we have at the time, thanks to NASA.
Watch Fight the Flat Earth. Find his videos on the moon landing. He goes through all that stuff. The hammer noise. When it sounds like the moon is ringing. Yes. He talks about that. I mean, there's Fight the Flat Earth has got a lot of.
Yeah, you can go into but that's the thing. There's a hollow Earth theory. There's a hollow moon theory. There's bloody moons. Hollow Earth is quite cool.
No sense to me because it's like you got to go through this big ass hole in the Antarctica. There's no.
It's in the. I think it's in the Arctic. I think it's up the north. I think there's an entrance up there as well.
Yeah, there's one in Antarctica too. One there, and then one in the North Pole. And I'm thinking somebody needs to tell all the indigenous people up north that there's a big hole there. Don't go there.
Hang on. I'm just gonna grab a drink a minute. Hang on.
All right. So, well, actually, what I'm going to do is we're just about at the hour mark. So I'll actually end we'll end this conversation here. I'm going to say this has been one of the coolest conversations I've heard. It's just I've really thoroughly enjoyed it. I've been entertained.
I know. I was still good. I could have kept talking, man. We'll have to do another one.
Well, the good news is pop over to the after party, and you still can. So I'll send you the link. So everyone, I have just put in the chat the link for the after party. So everyone come over to the after party. There's going to be a few more who will jump in. Although what I'm thinking is rather than do the after party there, I could always just do the after party here.
Yeah, just keep it going here.
I might. Are you guys happy with that? So I'll send the link to a few people who can jump in. So I'm going to So anyone who's waiting in the other after party, forget that. I'm actually about to end that. So forget that link. So if you've got that link, it's useless now. I'm shutting it down.
All right. No. Well, you're doing that. I want to give Bobby. If you got a specific conspiracy theory you want to talk about, get with Chris. You can get with me, and we'll set a time so we specifically pick one, but give us a little bit of time so I can research it.
that's what I was wanting this conversation to be about, to sort of like have a chat about a few different ones and see what sort of ones came up and we sort of discussed. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it, Jay. Thank you very much.
Well, like I said, this is I'm offering if there's one specific one you want to spend some time talking, let me know so I can get some time to research it myself, make sure I know what everything, and then we can talk about that too. So.
Yep. No, sounds good, mate. Sounds good.
So yeah, give it. Battle Legends asks if you're supplying the beer, Bobby.
Am I supplying the beer? I think I've got a couple in my fridge, mate. So you should be all right if you want one.
Well, I've got a couple here, so it's. I tell you what, when this lockdown is over, there's going to be no excuses for midweek drinking, is there?
No. Well, you're Australian. You're Australian and Scottish, so you're supposed to be drinking every day, aren't you?
Well, he's a Scotsman in Australia, so he's just constantly.
I don't know. I only drink when I'm on here.
So
we had that effect.
So to be honest, who drinks more, Scotch or Irish?
Well, I'm going to say the Scottish. Irish would probably say the Irish. So, but no, we are good drinkers. I do have to say I've outdrunk Chris quite a lot of times. So,
hang on. Wait a minute. What? Are you kidding? What drugs are you on? What are you kidding? Oh dear. All right, we're getting the first of the people who are coming to join.
Before I go, I want to say happy birthday to my partner Tracy. Love you, Dylan.
Happy birthday.
Is it Tracy's birthday?
Tracy's birthday. It's tomorrow.
Hold that thought, because what we're going to do, we've got Lissy Lou. Hello, how are you, Lissy?
Hey, Liz.
Liz, you're muted.
Happy birthday.
And Jen. Hey, Jen.
Hi.
All right, Jen.
Hey, Bobby.
I'm using this as an excuse not to work. You are aware of that.
Oh, like you need an excuse.
Any excuse.
Jen.
You're a little loud, Jen.
Sorry?
You're a little loud.
Oh, for goodness sake. Can this not stay working correctly? Is that better?
I'm just going to close the door so I don't get interference from Chris.
Now when you say Jen's a little loud, are you talking about now or in general?
Oh, in general.
All right. Well, there's
I'll wear that one
here. So Jeff Scummer, mate, come and jump in. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to do something very special for Tracy. We're going to sing Happy Birthday.
Now, I've seen this done before, and it doesn't really work very well because everybody's out of sync. But that's what makes it funny.
That's the whole reason we do it the way we do it, because it just makes it so much better to be like happy every which way.
Now, is Tracy watching? That's the thing.
I don't know. I've just sent her a message, just telling her she might be asleep, but I've just sent her a message. But we can sing it to her.
Hey, Jeff.
Happy birthday,
All right, Jeff.
Hi,
Tracy.
hi, Bobby.
Tracy.
Just warn you, this will sound bad.
This always sounds bad.
I
It's
hear
always
that
a bad idea.
I feel like we should do some sort of like. I think after we've sung Happy Birthday, we should do some sort of like Bohemian Rhapsody sort of like style thing.
What?
I see a little silhouette of a man.
Scaramouche.
Will be even worse than the bad news version.
I'm getting my beer.
That's a good memory.
So a big hello. Hey, Scummer. How are you, buddy?
Hiya. Hope you enjoyed that little thing I made for you yesterday.
I thought that was brilliant.
I woke up first thing and I've got all these notifications on my phone, and I was like, "What's going on here?" And I've just been tagged in this and Darth Dawkins and Godless Comer. I'm like, "Oh no, what's happened now? And then I've seen that and I've just gone, "This is the best thing on the internet." It was absolutely the best thing on the internet. So I might, with your permission, actually find it and I'll share it a bit later. So
we'll do that.
Chris and I cracked up when we saw it, when he showed it to me. It was so funny.
It was funny.
It was great. It was fantastic.
I was just bored for a little while last night, and I don't know why. I just thought of doing that.
Hey, Mirror.
Hey, Mirror. There's a link.
How are you, my lovely?
There'll probably be a spot in a second. So, all right. So Tracy, happy birthday to Tracy. So I'll count us in, and then we'll all sing it really badly out of time, but for Trace, it's going to be special.
It'd be worth it for you, darling. Here we go.
All right. Hey, Lissy.
I just
Whatever-
noticed. I
Yeah,
don't know
commenting
why
at
that's
me.
happened. I know.
because you're probably on my laptop.
I am.
It's probably still logged in as me. So
Hang
shocking.
on.
She's the
Changing
fake
now.
atheist partner. So this is what happens. This is what happens.
She broke it.
No, no, no.
Right,
To be honest, Chris,
Okay.
I honestly thought this was going to be a professional show.
No, I got involved.
it is. Absolutely is.
I got involved. That's all
What do you
good.
mean?
Highly professional standards
So-
we have here.
So
Right.
I'll count us down, and it's a happy birthday to Trace.
It's
So you ready?
yep, it's a out of sync happy birthday.
Out of sync, happy birthday. So 3, 2, 1. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
you.
you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Hooray!
I said hello.
I still maintain we should just let Jen do happy birthdays by herself, but in a Marilyn Monroe style.
Only because you guys messed it up last time I went to do that.
I don't know. I might be able to do it better than you, Jen. I think
Oh, well, that would be cool.
we should do that in the after party.
This is the after
Yeah,
party.
This is the after party.
What, is it still going out live?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't realise.
Oh, yeah. No.
I think Chris
just
just decided to keep this one going instead of
Yeah,
starting a new one.
instead
Oh,
of
yeah,
doing the
yeah.
after party and getting everyone else to go over, I just thought, we'll just bring it over here. So I know that you've got to
Keep the
I know
party
you've got to
going.
leave at some point.
Yes, I am getting up in like 5 hours.
I will say there's some good channel recommendations Jay gave out there. I definitely would recommend them. I would just say if you ever thinking about debating any of those guys though, just be warned they could be fucking brutal.
Yes.
Rhetorical, Team Skeptical. They can be absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm not into the sort of.
no.
I'll go and I'll like talk to people about. I like talking to someone about it.
I
But
think
don't
to be
do something that's
To
gonna-
be
I don't
fair, I
like-
think that they're generally a lot better if someone's engaging honestly and just isn't getting something. But like last night, I mean, they had Fight the Flat Earth had JM Truth on there, who is just dishonest, and Fight the Flat Earth wrecked him. I mean, it made him rage quit, but just actually exposed him live at the fact that he was being dishonest. It was.
How was he being dishonest? What was he doing?
Oh well, it kind of goes back to a previous debate he'd done with Red's Rhetoric, and JM kind of got trolled by someone, but JM was not coming up with his own arguments. He was being fed arguments by someone else, and he got caught.
Okay.
And he's tried to deny it. It was.
Oh, hang on. That sounds like my good mate Darth when he goes, "Oh, I've just got to go for a second," and then
Yeah, I know.
You know you don't mention his name or he appears.
Oh, I'm hoping he does.
That'd be hilarious if he did.
I did wonder.
Actually, it was funny the other night, and I can't remember whose stream it was in, but Darth was there, and actually was in Manda's Atheist stream. And as soon as I've jumped in and gone, DD, it's my bitch. That was it. He disappeared after that.
He's gone.
He was gone. He ran. Darth Dawkins ran away.
It's the fact that you
should
changed
have
your
shown
name
up
on
for Godless Granny's birthday bash, Chris, because he showed up there in force with all his cronies.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, what an
I
absolute
actually
coster. It's a
thought that-
birthday bash. There was no discussion apart from about her birthday, and he shows up and beats a prick to her.
The funny one was though that you changed your name to Atheist Pastor Destroyer of Darth Dawkins on your.
I had to. How could I not? How could I not?
But I think I almost feel responsible because I made a joke in the chat when they were when Amanda's asking about like favorite Sith Lords, and I said nobody said Darth Dawkins yet. So Amanda's like, Jeff, shut up. And I swear within a minute of that, me saying that, he was there.
Yeah, he appears.
I feel like I summoned him.
No,
I've noticed a few videos he does that. He'll just time out and he'll just go, oh, hang on, and he'll just go on and come back and think, what the fuck are you doing? So he just seems a bit of a weird guy.
No, he's not welcome around my channel at all. So
round your yard.
You know, as far as I'm concerned, Darth Dawkins can show up anytime because I've cracked over 2,000 views on my debate with him. So
I have an awesome idea, Chris.
Jay loves the fact that that's happened.
Yeah. I hope Jay
I
wasn't too annoyed that I made a crack about that in my little parody, which you'll see later.
Have you seen the parody yet, Jay?
I seen some of it. I didn't catch the whole thing.
That's great.
I was at work when I seen it. I only got a chance to catch a little bit of it. But yeah,
it's so funny.
We'll have to make sure it's full screen later, though. We've got to make sure.
We'll do it properly. So Mero, at last count, I think it was about 2,100 views.
Mine is at.
Oh wow!
No, not this video. No, this one isn't that popular.
Oh,
711.
I don't know. We got 24 people in it so far, so it's not too bad.
So I'll give you the I'll get the destruction of Darth Dawkins, the mirror as it's called, 2,173 it's sitting at. So I did that, but I also upset Manda because
I'll check that out later, Jen. All right.
My chat with Aaron Ra, or the chat that me and Manda did with Aaron Ra, has just actually it's about to crack 1,500. It's 1,485.
He seems an interesting dude, man.
Aaron Ra,
he's
a cool guy.
Yeah,
very, very interesting. So
I wonder how I would go talking to him.
He would brutalize you. Yeah,
the last time he spoke to a flat earther,
no lube.
Oh no, he'd be in dry, and he's a big dude, so it'd hurt.
The last time he spoke to a flat earther that I saw,
I got a response back from Tracy. She said,
"Yeah." Oh, go on, Bobby.
My missus sent me a message saying that it brought a tear to her eye from laughing. Timing was well out with Jared. Thank you, and pass on my thanks. So, thank you.
Glad we can make a night.
I know. Yes, that was good.
Oh, you know, we've got to look after Trace. So, I mean, look, Tracy is a very nice, very patient,
I'm playing bowling here. What? Sorry,
Tracy's a very normal person who is Rob's partner, and she's a very patient woman. Let's him get away with a lot. Let's him go out with. I don't think she likes me sometimes. I think there's times where Rob will go, I'm going out with Chris, and she'll just go, fucking Chris. I think I probably get blamed for a lot of things. I think, but it's probably fair enough.
It's because we do go out in the piss. I think because we go out in the piss quite a lot together. So
yeah. I guess it's never a. Although I love it when we say we're just going to have one or two beers, and 4 in the morning it's just like, hey, yeah. I'm lucky. I get home and Lissy just looks at me, shakes her head, and goes, "Yeah, good on you."
Yes, we're both very patient, Tracy and I.
Yes, I know. We love you. We love you.
So I'm gonna throw it out there. Jen, what's your favourite conspiracy?
Oh, my favourite one. No, we talked about this on the weekend. It was the whole Nazis based in Antarctica where they're hiding.
Maybe we could either talk about, you're saying about bring up one that we could talk about. Maybe I was thinking about Nazis or like Antarctica, or I just had it in my head as well.
I much prefer Nazis.
Please tell me you don't believe the Nazis are in Antarctica.
No, I think they went to Antarctica.
Oh yeah, they
Oh yeah, I don't think they're still there at the moment. I don't. Well, who knows? Who knows what's underneath the ice? What's fucking built underneath the ice?
dirt.
Well, they went to the Antarctica in exactly the same way as every other country has to explore it, but there was never any aspect of military installations in Antarctica.
There was Denver International Airport is another good one I would like to look into.
By the way, sorry, I just saw something in the
Wasn't
chat.
that yours, Jay?
Yeah.
By the way, I just saw something in the chat, Jay, and I'm not going to do it because I think I'm pushing my luck with Manda on that one. So
Well, hey, in all fairness, Misa want to see you do the Jaja impersonation, Jeff. Really?
better than mine. That's better than mine.
Oh my God.
I cannot do it. I cannot do it when I'm laughing though.
See, Jaja does make
It's like
people
trying to
laugh.
whistle when you're trying to laugh.
Oh, that's classic. That is absolutely classic.
I so want to do a parody of with Jar Jar where he sings Open Gungan style.
Oh, that'd be good.
I'm sure has that been done before? It must.
God, it'd be epic.
That's got Weird Al Yankovic written all over it.
Yeah.
But we'd have to. Jeff would have to do Jar Jar for it if we were going to do it.
So Jeff, conspiracy theories. What's your favourite one floating around?
Oh, I guess the one I maybe used to be a little bit interested in was the Kennedy assassination. You know that, but I think again at its sort of base level, you know, it could be argued that more than one person was involved. To be honest, I'm still not convinced, but I think after a while it just gets so convoluted, whether it was the CIA or whoever that mob, and it just becomes such a thing of how big is this thing actually have to be, you know, before it becomes.
Have you heard the possibility of it being the driver that shot him?
That's a new one.
Have you not heard that one?
I've not heard that one. That's a new one.
Yes. No, that's
actually, you know what? I dug
would
into
be
it.
right.
I'll tell you who to look into. Look into a guy called Roscoe White. Roscoe White was a high-ranking police officer with the Dallas PD, who also was killed in mysterious circumstances years later. So he's one to look into, and apparently there was some CIA links. So there you go. Bobby, have fun with that one. Roscoe
it could be all like MK Ultra and stuff like that as well. So,
well,
I'm thinking Majestic 12 and the Aliens personally, but
yeah, Bilderberg Group and all that as well. You know,
we know MK Ultra was actually a thing. You know,
actually, I'm reading a good book at the moment. I see like Pegasus or something.
Yeah,
but
what's it called?
It's called "Behold a Pale Horse" by William Cooper.
Oh, okay.
It's an awesome book. It's like it was written in '91, and some of it still rings true today. He was a U.S. naval intelligence officer, and he got access to a lot of information. So, but what are your thoughts about all this sort of like Project Disclosure that's coming out now with all these aliens that are now? Oh yes, we are now seeing aliens. Do you think all this is coming out? Do you think this is, even though it's all been coming out, it seems to be getting more brought up by the military?
I haven't looked into it enough to venture an opinion one way or the other. In all honesty with you, so I'm not going to. So, you know.
Yeah, no, I can't see that one.
I'm not.
Everyone, I will be back in 1 minute. Please excuse me. Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
We were.
But
what about yours, Leslie? What's your favourite one?
I really don't have one.
No.
Nobody said that Australia isn't a real place yet.
No.
See, that one's hard because I live here.
I know it's weird.
And I know it's not an actor because I still.
Do we really? Are we really here? Are we just, maybe it's just a computer simulation. Who knows?
I mean, if we got our shell checks, I'd be quite happy.
If it turns out,
if I got my acting check, not a problem.
If it turns out one day that you're actually British and you live like half a mile down the road from me, I'm going to be so pissed.
Well, I did travel. I did do the 24-hour flight to the UK, and man, that flight was an absolute bitch. So and the back flight as well. So that's that one's really hard.
You do like 12 hours to Dubai or Singapore or Bangkok.
I did Singapore.
Yeah, and then you end up doing that other connecting flight. So it breaks it down to sort of like 13 hours and
trying to think.
14 hours or something like that.
Not-
So it's
last
a
one I
fucking long flight.
I got that tattoo right there, my tiger. I got that.
Yeah.
I got that one done in Singapore.
Oh yeah.
I did I think it was almost 12 hours to Colombia, then another 3 hours to Peru.
Okay.
A couple of years ago.
Is that Machu Picchu? Is that Peru?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you go there? Was it?
Yeah. I walked the Inca Trail. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
How
long did that take?
It's a 4-day trek.
I was going to say maybe 3-4 days.
And I've got to say, it's probably physically the most demanding thing I've ever done. I mean, there are actually some vlogs on my channel of that. Especially as one of them, I think it's the second day when I take my vlog, and I am absolutely just, I'm gasping for air because I'm
sweating.
Yeah. I've just climbed to the highest point, and the air is thin up there. I'm gasping for air. So what do? I fire up the camera, then fire up a cigarette. Yeah, that's real smart.
Of course.
That was it. You were probably having a celebratory one, yes, I made it to the top. I'm going to have a cigarette and remember this moment.
If you're going to do it, you may as well do it properly.
That must have been an
struggle on
amazing
the way
view,
back
though.
down. But,
well, I was supposed to be going to China next month to do the Great Wall, but obviously
you definitely won't be going.
That won't be happening until next year at least now. So
maybe you can go to the Great Wall takeaway.
Oh, there we have it. We have it straight from the Nevermore Tavern, who has said NASA is fake and stands for deceiver. You've heard it here first. Bobby Mack, you have converted Jay to a conspiracy theorist.
I've heard it. I mean, it's actually Nashar.
Why do I think there's going to be? Why do I think
Nashar?
Yeah, Nashar. Yeah, so.
Yeah, NASA means to journey or to rise up.
Yes, yeah, or to travel, to basically travel beyond.
Yeah.
But yes, no, good.
We're on our way. NASA did pay for the.
See that thing, nerd? Oh yeah, you put it up on the screen. Yeah.
I love what it is written. Well, we do have a big satellite to help with the moon landing and everything like that in parks. So of course we've got to get our money.
It's all a fake. So the moon landing was a fake and Australia's a fake. Let's be honest. We're going to reveal the truth.
And birds are remote controlled.
Yep. And I think Manda has summed that up rather nicely.
Yeah, exactly. I was waiting for Manda to make the comment.
Does Manda want to hop in for a bit? Because I'm kind of distracted at the moment.
Yeah, I think she's going to jump in soon. So what time, because I know Dave's chat is on tonight, and I don't want to run over Dave's chat. So I think we've got half an hour. We've got half an hour, so we've still got half an hour. So now,
I've probably got about 10 minutes left of me, and then I've got to shoot.
Too easy. I was about to ask. Well, I'll just kick you in 10 minutes, so Tracy doesn't get cranky. What time you got to be up, Rob?
My alarm goes off at 4:20, and then I get up at about 5. So and then leave the house at 5:15.
You can do that.
No, you don't need to be here. That's insane.
Bye, Ed.
I'm still on UK time. Bye. See you. I'm still on. I think sometimes my body clock is still on UK time, so that's why I get so more alert and awake during the fucking night time. And I think.
And you've been over here for how long?
Hey, you know what? Because of all of you, all of y'all, I was getting on US time there for a little bit, which was a bit concerning. So. It's you got to watch these things. Well, actually, probably more UK time, but that's okay. That'll help me when the Premier League kicks back off.
Yeah.
Next year.
Well,
this year.
You'll be looking forward to it, Chris, because Newcastle could be the richest club in the world before long.
Yeah, that'll be very interesting.
Actually, has that gone through?
Not as far as I know, but
what's happening?
The Saudi Crown Prince is looking to buy a massive share of Newcastle United.
It's the deposit's been put down. They're just waiting for approval from. So I guess being.
You wish you were a shareholder.
Well, I'm going to have to become a Saudi shill now, I guess, because they bought my team. But no, actually,
Does that mean you have to convert to Islam?
No,
It says.
no, I can assure you that shan't be happening.
It says something like. It says something.
Well, I hope
like,
you debate
when-
Dawkins next time.
It says something about like Mike Ashley though, and like people are like, well, the Saudi Crown Prince is more ethical than Mike Ashley. That says something about Mike Ashley.
Yeah. Well, look, you know what? It's I've still got Scunthorpe United. I still
I was
love
going
them.
to say the Scunners. You need a rich Arab sheikh to come and put some shares into Scunthorpe.
Yeah, we'll get Scunthorpe. We'll build it up, mate. I reckon you and me could buy Scunthorpe, Bobby.
Well,
we'll get Scum at a run at. He's around the corner, I'm sure. But
yeah.
Different part. I do from a distance follow Dunfermline Athletic as well. Because I told you I was actually born in Dunfermline, so
Yep. Yeah. Well, I'm a Celtic fan, but it was people get confused because if you're a Celtic fan, you're supposed to be a Protestant, a Catholic.
See you, Mero.
And you're a Rangers fan. You're a Protestant. I'm a Celtic supporter and a Protestant. And then I've got a mate who's a Rangers supporter and a Catholic. So we'd go out in pubs in England together. You couldn't go out in Scotland if you're Celtic or Rangers top on because you get into a fight.
When my parents actually lived in Dunfermline, just during the 1970s, my dad went out with his mate to a pub to watch the old home internationals one day. And I think it was in the mid-70s. I think England won like 4 or 5-1. England really gave Scotland a hiding that day.
Yeah. Scotland were all right back in them days, but England were better.
I will do.
Jay.
This is kind of diverging onto a different path than.
This is
and Jay won't be liking this.
This isn't so much a sports thing, but this is what happened is my dad and his mate swapped shirts at the end of it because they both had their national colours on. His poor mate, a Scottish guy, walks home drunk with his England shirt on and gets the shit kicked out of him.
Oh shit! No.
Yeah, no, that's not good.
You have major problems with that shit over there.
Yeah.
Not going. You can't go into the pubs with colours. Hell no.
No. But we used to go out.
You know what? I've never seen that, so I think it's a conspiracy.
Oh no,
I don't really think there's either a Celtics or a Rangers team. I just think the whole thing's been made up, and it's a bunch of actors on TV, and it's designed to incite. It's designed to incite sectarian.
That's it. I'm out.
She rage quit.
Shit. So, all right, everyone, take note. That's all we need to do to get rid of Jen.
We wouldn't do that.
Make up a batshit conspiracy. I love it.
What are you on about? It's usually me who makes up the batshit conspiracies. I'm just pissed off that you thought of it first.
I know. I'm going to kick you in a second, Bobby, because you got to be up in a few hours, man.
Yeah, that's all right. Okay, bud. All right.
I still think the best conspiracy theory we ever made up was that Disney was buying Doctor Who. That was so much fun.
Oh,
Jeff.
that was wonderful.
That was just that just went on for days, and all these people go, "Is that really happening?"
But that's how these things start. A bunch of people have a couple of drinks and do something taking the piss, and that's it.
It's a good little thing to do for like a social experiment, that isn't it? Really? I mean, it's like what you did. It's like what you did the other day, Chris. I think that was a great little social experiment with the whole why I'm not voting for Joe Biden.
Oh man, the abuse that I copped for that. It
Jay,
was funny.
As an American, Jay, what's your thoughts on Joe Biden?
Fuck politicians.
Yeah, no politics on this. No politics.
I don't do politics.
There's a conspiracy there's a conspiracy in Joe Biden, man. He's a creepy man.
Yeah, well, if you're into conspiracies out there, you've got Jesse Ventura. So,
no, Jesse
I'm
Ventura.
Example, I'm refusing to vote for either of them.
He doesn't stroke children's heads and sniff them and try to get them and put his arm around them.
For those who didn't see, I did a video in the last week which was called "Why I Am Not Voting for Joe Biden," and the obvious reason is because I'm Australian, I can't vote for him. Which was actually what I got into about 30 seconds into the video. It's what I said. But So I put the video out there, and the abuse that I got called a fascist Trump shill. I got called a Nazi. I got called every name under the sun. My favorite comment was someone who said, I had this comment written out ready to send, but then I thought I might actually watch the video first, and okay, you got me. And I'm just like, okay, respect there.
Respect for the honesty there.
And I think it was actually it was Mero Navadia who, in one of the comments, someone had a go at me and said, I refuse to watch this, you're this or that. And I think Mero's gone, you should probably watch it just about 30 seconds in. And no, I don't need to watch, fascist, this, that, and it's just like, but then there's people who know I'm Australian. There's people who know I'm Australian who are still really upset about the video, because I'm just like, well, there's a reason I'm not voting for it. It's the same reason that Americans aren't voting for ScoMo, or if I were to send something, so for those who are overseas, if I were to start sending things out to you guys saying why Albo's evil and Albo's bad and we've got to stop Albo at all costs, we can't let Albo take the lodge, no one is going to know what the hell I'm talking about. And even if they do, they're probably not going to care, which is kind of how I feel about the whole Joe Biden, Donald Trump. It doesn't affect me. I really don't care. I know that'll probably upset some people, but the simple fact is I'm not an American.
You don't care because there's nothing you can do about it.
No, it's nothing to do with me. It's the same as I don't also care who wins the UK election, the German election, it's the New Zealand. I mean, that's a little bit different because New Zealand's a colony of Australia. So, we've got to watch what happens there.
I thought it was the other way around.
No. Well, actually, technically under the Australian Constitution, WA wasn't included as a state, but New Zealand was. Originally, so that's something interesting because they didn't expect WA was going to join, but we kind of forced WA into it, and New Zealand was going to join, but New Zealand didn't join because of the way that the Australian colonies were treating the Aboriginals, because the New Zealanders had a really good relationship with the Maori people, and they didn't want the Indigenous New Zealanders to be treated the same way that. So that's anyway. There's a bit of history. That's the historian coming out.
I'll definitely say one. Yeah, see you later, Bobby.
All right.
Bobby,
thanks
mate.
Bye, Bobby.
Thank you. Cheers for the chat, Jay. It was good.
Bye, Bobby.
All right. Take care.
Yeah.
Peace.
See ya. I'll definitely say one bit of history we didn't get taught in school, which I found some couple of documentaries on, which have fascinated me, was the British wars with the Maoris. The Maoris really gave the British Army a real run for their money.
Oh yeah, well that's why they signed the Treaty of Waitangi, which essentially, well, it was probably more the upper echelon of the Maoris who got the better deal out of that, but that's controversial as well. But no, I mean, well, the Maoris, they compared to a lot of other Indigenous people, they've actually got probably the better deal out of a lot of the invaded Indigenous land. So if there is such a thing as a better deal, apologies to any Maoris who I've offended. I didn't mean to.
But there's a few times though during those wars they gave them, just using the same sort of tactics the British Army used. Just they walloped the British Army a number of times out there. And
what you got to remember is the Maoris aren't these, but they're actually a fairly advanced, I guess, as far as the Indigenous, because Polynesians, they actually come from Taiwan. They all originated from Taiwan. So Hawaiians, Samoans, Tongans, Taiwan's where they've come from. So and New Zealand was only settled. Was the last major landmass to be settled, and it was only 1,500 years ago that the Maoris arrived there. So it's a bit of a unique one, that one.
And the thing is, as well, is that people need to, if they read the history of that, is people need to understand that people might have, when I say like British Army versus the Maoris, they might have like images of something similar to the film Zulu or something in their minds, with this like native tribe. the Maoris were well armed with and knew how to use guns. They've been buying guns off of the traders for years at that point. They knew how to use them.
Oh yeah. That was a genuine invasion and war and originally, funnily enough, New Zealand was where they were going to send the convicts to. Yeah. But then Joseph Banks, who was the he was the botanist on.
He wanted to go to Australia.
Yeah, he was, but he was like this upper class botanist who happened to be on Captain Cook's ship, the Endeavour. He insisted that they go to Australia so he could become the paid expert on Australia, even though he'd spent like one day there 18 years prior. So it was history's weird, but anyway, people didn't come here for history. Jay, how do you feel about the conversation you had with Bobby? I got to say, if nothing else, I was thoroughly entertained. It was great. What did you think, Jay?
I liked it. I wish we had more time. I wouldn't have tried to jump around so much trying to get a feel for stuff. But yeah, I liked it.
So we're gonna have to pick another pick a specific conspiracy, I think. A specific conspiracy.
That's
and I reckon a deep dive in, because I know he's pretty keen for that. So we'll touch base and I'll kind of tee that one up.
Bobby's one of these people that actually wants to learn.
Well, I like it when we were all mentioning our favorite conspiracies. He believed something of all of them. Okay.
with Bobby, it's funny with him. Sometimes he's got a very, very straight face. Sometimes he'll be completely taking the piss, and you can't tell. And I'm his best mate, and probably for 12 months I thought he was taking the piss with the flat Earth thing, and then I realized, oh no, he's serious. And it's like,
he's serious.
Right, okay. But so some cool things are happening on the channel. I'm going to say that. So we're rebranding, we're renaming. So no more Atheist Pastor channel soon. We are becoming the toss up is either Hereticals or the Hereticals.
And see, to me, the in front of it doesn't sound right.
Mr. Heretical?
No, because it's not about. See, I'll still be Atheist Pastor, not because I'm going to do like an Atheist Pastor podcast as part of the channel, which is like the interview series I've started doing. I've already recorded a few for, but I just kind of think I don't know. It
sounds like you want some more collaborations, kind of thing.
Yeah, it just seems a bit of a wank when the channel's called Atheist Pastor, and I'm one of 6 people on a Friday night show, or it's even now if it was called Atheist Pastor, but like there's more than that. It's pretty. I do some content on my own, but I don't know. I just sort of thought it was time for a change, and I mean it was only ever really called Atheist Pastor because I didn't want my details and info and people to know who I was, but as it turns out, I got doxed and it really didn't do anything anyway. So, I just, I'll still kind of use the Atheist Pastor pseudonym, but probably like Seth Andrews does with the Thinking Atheist, where he's not the Thinking Atheist, but he's kind of linked to it. So that's how I sort of see it going.
He's had to explain that so many times, though, Seth. Like, because he used to get introduced all the time as the Thinking Atheist, and it's like that's not what I'm calling myself. That was the name. That was officially the name of his website to begin with, and then it became a podcast. And sorry, I've read. I mean, I'm probably not the only one here, but I've read Seth's autobiography, which is a good read. So
I'll have to check that out. Actually, that would be a good read. But so I'm just the only reason I haven't changed it is because of that. But so it's going to be Hereticals or the Hereticals. So that should be a bit of fun. I'm going to do an official announced video, but if you happen to be watching now, well, you've heard it here first.
You've officially announced it.
Congratulations!
This is a soft launch.
This is a soft launch. So so it's it's sort of it's there. We'll see. It's
you take the blue pill later for the hard launch.
That's all. We'll have a party. There'll be champagne. It'll be wonderful. But by the same token, let's say if there's a 6-pack, because so on 6-pack this week we've got a bunch of Aussie guys talking about leaving religion, their experiences and advice for people leaving religion. Now, in a few weeks, I'm planning on doing the same thing, but with women. And it's
I'll be
not.
listening to that one.
Sorry.
Yep.
Well, sorry, I was going to say thanks for the spoiler there, Lissy. Actually, I don't know if you'll be hosting it, but you'll be on it.
Sorry.
But that's one where it's not appropriate for me to be on a panel like that, and then it's weird if it's like atheist pastor, but atheist pastor isn't there. So I just thought, and this way it means that I can, because one thing I want to do is I want to be able to promote other people's content and sort of push other stuff out there as as the channel grows, like some of the smaller, because there's some content creators out there who have got really under 100 subs, but are putting out ridiculously good content. And I'd love to be able to sort of showcase them, highlight them, and then, even if it's just one of their things, chuck it on the channel, so then people can go and see it premiere and then go and subscribe to them, because there's so many good content creators out there. It frustrates me that some of the stuff I'll just come across and just go, how the hell do you not have 1,000 subs? Not that I'm at that point, but there's some amazing stuff out there.
Yeah,
none more so than the company I'm in.
I finally got past 250 after that little bar that I was trying to get to for seemingly forever now. But
see, I thought my 475 hump was bad. This 646 hump is freaking ridiculous. I've been stuck in the 640s for almost a month now.
Well, I've just cracked the 370s. I just hit 372 tonight, so I picked up 3 subs while the conspiracy chat was going on. So, which is cool. I mean, it's not always about the number that you've got on, but it's still it's. I'm not going to lie, it's pretty cool. Now, I don't want to get everyone excited, but something big has just happened. It's a real big deal. We have been joined by none other than Manda.
Hey,
all right,
good morning, Manda. How are you?
All right, I'm out. See you later.
So on that note, thanks everyone for joining us tonight. We're going to end the stream there.
Manda's on the screen 5 seconds. She's already flipped the bird
and said "fuck you." So
it normally takes a lot less than that. So that's pretty impressive. Well done.
Well, we know what we've got to do as a closer to the show here, Chris. Anyway, don't we? So
don't fucking do it, Jeff. Don't.
No. If you're thinking
what did I miss?
Manda, that's not what if you're thinking impressions, no, that was not what I was going to do.
Okay, that's fine.
I was thinking of a certain little video I made up.
Oh, your video is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So,
yeah.
I'm actually going to find that video now, and I will put it up because that was. I'm just going to say that was absolutely. That was waking up to that this morning. Yeah, you sort of I stumbled out of bed. I'm like, what the hell is all these alerts? Darth Dawkins, Godless going. I'm like, oh no, what's happened now? And then I've watched that in my heart.
I'm like, what the hell, Jeff, do now?
But it was wonderful. So I'm going to find it and I'll bring it up and share it because I can do that kind of shit now because my computer's better. I've got I finally got the upgraded computer.
I'm very happy.
I'm very happy.
Yes.
It is pretty.
Noticed.
It is. It's it glows in the dark and it's rainbow.
Kids love it.
The kids are entertained. It's
they're running
cool.
It's rainbow. It's rainbow. Everything's rainbow. It's hilarious.
You have to make sure you get that thing full screen and then on there just so people can read the the text. I just was pissed watching it back this morning. I realised I did make a typo on one bit, but other than that, I was very proud of that.
Jeff, how long did it take
there was only
you
2
to do
typos. That was okay.
About half an hour.
Really? Like writing the script and everything?
There's actually a template for that because those particular parodies are so common.
Still, it was so brilliant.
I did it because I was bored last night.
So we're all good. We all ready to watch the video?
Yeah, sure. Let's go for it.
All right. Let's do this thing. Let's do this. I will say this is like Scummer. I take my hat off to you. This is great. This is absolutely fantastic. And this will be good actually because this is my first time doing having a video running while I've got everyone here. So with the old computer, I couldn't do that particularly well.
I'm on the old computer.
That's all right. Well, you'll work it out. You'll work it out. All right. So here we go. So everyone, as brought to you by the one and only Godless Scummer, enjoy. Oh, so just for that last one, go troll Mama Atheist.
Yeah, everyone, go troll Mama Atheist right now.
Yep. If you're one already.
The thing if you're going to troll, you have to do it right. You have to do Jar Jar impersonations. You have to mention that she knows lots of scientists, and you've got to call her a name that isn't quite exactly her name. But only Jay does that, so just ignore it.
Misa not gonna troll Mama Atheist. Oh no!
I actually
leave Mama alone. Leave my man alone.
I think your impression
Here, I'll put that one up.
I love it.
The thing is about that video. The one thing I got some feedback about, like I know crack Mero the fuck up. Was when and because I didn't know what else to put at one little line, and so I just thought, "Cheer up, SJ." And for some reason,
brilliant.
that was just a throwaway line to me, and yet that seems to be the one that cracks a lot of people up.
Oh yeah. Oh, see, my favourite was at the end where it just had go troll Mama Atheist.
He already did that on my fucking Star Wars stream. Like it had
I know. But did you notice?
Everyone, Mander, it's a rite of passage.
Never showed up. He ran away. He ran away. So
he did. I think Matthew deleted it once, and then
no, Matthew blocked all his sock accounts. He was just like, "Fuck this, he's not doing this." So,
well, like I said, he's not welcome around my channel, because he tried to hijack just when I had Manda on for just sort of a one-on-one chat that we had, which sort of in kind of an interview, but an informal interview, but he tried to he kind of got in there and tried to hijack the live chat then, didn't he? So
yeah, that was my first time, I think, on a live stream with him. Whatever.
Now, really quickly, we've only got a few minutes because I know Dave's critical questions are going to start soon. Dave, hey, by the way, I see that Dave is in the chat.
Hey,
tap
Dave.
the link so people can go and watch you after. Or if they're watching this in the future, then they can go and watch the replay. It'll be
and remember, if you're trolling Mama Atheist, you have to go over to Critical Questions to troll her.
I'm on his channel more than I'm on mine, so it's fine.
You're getting the.
I think we all are.
I think we all are. Yeah.
Yeah. Dave, what's the deal? How are we meant to make our own content if
he
we're
likes company?
He does.
But honestly, it is so much fun. Just watching it or taking part, especially, it's a lot of fun. That show, even some of the questions are warped at times and maybe even a little uncomfortable.
Very.
There's a number of times where I've seen a question come up and I'll be watching it and I'll start yelling at the screen, going, "No, don't say it, say it." No, it's coming.
I'm going to have to try and figure out how to actually download that thing I made and actually get it as a YouTube video, I think.
There'd be a way. I'll have to.
Yeah.
The
only thing that irritated me is when I watched it back, I just realized one little typo, and I don't know, I just really get obsessive about those little things, but
Yeah,
I do too.
I think I picked it up.
There was only 2 typos. It's okay.
But
That's all right.
Gosh, it was a good laugh.
With all that being said, Dave has posted the link to. So Critical Cripple has posted the link to his show, but then he's put a stack of other links. So the top link he put up,
because he's a brilliant shill.
He's the best shill going. I mean, we love it. But shill yourself here, Dave, because your show's starting in about 5 minutes. So we want everyone to go basically from one to the other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick shill. So tomorrow night, I'm having a chat to Richard Madsen. Richard's actually in the chat. He's been in the chat for a bit today, but we're going to be talking about the origins of the Bible. I've got Jay is going to moderate the conversation, probably, I guess, a little bit similar to tonight's, but probably with more Jay than there was me. Just because I know that we can both go a little bit off track and go down rabbit holes sometimes. So it's just to sort of keep us on track with the origins of the Bible. So that'll be tomorrow night, 10 o'clock Australian Eastern, which is 8 a.m. Eastern in the US. And then we've got Friday Night Six Pack, which is the men's leaving religion, I guess, advice and experiences. So we've got Not Your Witness on that, Vagrant Sam, who's one of the regulars. Mr. Bear's going to be on, and we've also got Matt Stephen, who's a former Catholic priest, who's going to be jumping on and I guess giving his insight as well. So it should be a bit of fun. So has anyone got anything in particular they want to show that they've got coming up in the next few days while we're all here? Or
well, I'll just say I've got my thing. It's coming up on Sunday, but I think it's going to be on Hissy's channel, where we're continuing our little go through the Asterix books. That's 1 o'clock UK time, I believe. So it could be an interesting one because I think Hissy's got 1 or 2 little rants to do about the next book. So
I'm on B's channel on Friday night US time. It's something about depression and anxiety. And I believe I'm on the Shills on Sunday. Saturday night. So the people in the US.
Oh, that should be a good night. That should be good.
So, if I've got my weekends right, I've totally lost track.
I don't even know what day it is. Jay, what about you, mate? Hey, Jay, incidentally, mate, once again, really enjoyed the conversation. It was great that it wasn't a debate style thing. I think there's too much of that out there. I liked how you actually had the conversation. You dug into, what do you think about this? Why do you believe? And it was good to actually dig into the thinking of conspiracy theorists.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to really take my hat off to you there, mate. You're the best for conversations, and you're the best moderator going. So, what can't you do, Jaces?
Well, Jaces is
Hashtag Jaces lives.
Well, I did change this. Did you see that?
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Brilliant.
Praise Jesus.
What did I say in the Twitter group? Do you remember?
All I remember is I never remember the original post. I just remember all the tormenting that happens afterwards.
No, it was something I said about wearing Adidas. Crap, I don't remember now. Yeah, we all wear Adidas and drink the Kool-Aid, dance naked in the moonlight, and all hail Zordon.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
wait. Only then will we know what is only to be the one truth of Zordon.
Yeah.
All hail the mighty in another stream. It's rude.
Yeah. All hail the mighty Jesus. My extraterrestrial overlord brothers will join us soon. We must prepare for their arrival by wearing Adidas shoes, drinking Kool-Aid, and dancing naked under a full moon. Only then will we know what it is to be truly one with Zordon.
There we go.
I love it.
You can't make this stuff up, can you? It happens. It happens.
But
so what do you coming up?
I've got Ross Burns at 7 on Saturday night, my time. I'm going to talk to Ross, and then probably going to do a face palm. I'm still up in the air whether I'm going to do Spirit Science or Starseeds. So I'm not sure yet. And then next week is Dejo Hammurabi.
Oh, that's good.
Oh,
Amanda?
There is one other thing that's happening tomorrow night that Jay and I are on. Down Under Discourse.
Well, that's tomorrow morning.
Well, tomorrow morning for you, tomorrow evening.
What time is that?
It's not confirmed yet.
Because I forgot about that, and I told Chris I would be on his tomorrow morning because I thought you said we were going to do it Saturday morning. Saturday night. Yeah.
I don't want to do Saturday night because I got the shows. That's all. Although I suppose if we do it early enough, that's fine. We could do it Thursday. We could do it Saturday.
Or we can do
Yeah.
no shit.
Don't run.
What time's your thing, Chris?
9:30 Australian Eastern Standard.
So 7:30.
7:30
7:30 my time.
That's
Yeah.
6 back. The Richard thing is at 8.
Oh, sorry, 8. Yeah, sorry. So it'll be
10 your time, which is
so 10
Running
my
the
time,
yeah.
8 Eastern Standard. What are you 2 hours behind me?
All right, well, we might swap ours to Saturday because I think we can.
Yeah, swap
Break
that
it out
Saturday.
later.
More fun, though.
Yeah, we'll swap to Saturday just for you, Chris, because we're so lovely.
Well, that's why I agreed to be on, because I thought we were doing it Saturday.
Yeah, you obviously don't follow the chat there, Jay.
I must not have seen it because I thought it said Saturday.
Yeah, no, we were all chatting about it, but yeah, no, that's okay. It was mostly for Mary's benefit. We were going to go tomorrow night, so and she's gone to bed, so I can't ask her now.
Now Mary gets to come and watch my chat with Richard, so that's good. Everyone wins.
It's good. Yeah.
Amanda, what do you got coming up? What's coming up?
I was asked to do a video about the bushfires and like incorporate some of the fires in America too with it. So that's what I'm working on now.
Cool.
I'm going to head because I have to go somewhere before I start the other stream with Dave. So
cool.
I would say 2020 is 2020 is starting to suck. We thought like the bushfires would be the be all end all this year. But
now we got murder hornets.
Now we got fucking killer hornets as well, on top of all this COVID-19 shit.
It's been the weirdest start of the year ever.
Hey,
yeah,
it's all right for you who aren't in Australia. We actually had the bushfires here.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then followed by the floods straight after, because after you have a dry spell and bushfires, of course you're going to get fucking floods. Because why not? And then all this shit happens. And anyway, that being said, really good conversation. It was. I'm glad we kind of merged the after party into this. It kind of worked out well. Jay, thanks again, mate. That was awesome.
Yeah,
absolutely. We're going to get you and Bobby on again and find the next one to really dig into. Everyone else, thank you for coming to the after party. And if you haven't already clicked on the link for Critical Questions, go click on the link because Critical Questions is fun. So on that note, thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful afternoon, evening, or whatever it is, wherever the hell you are on this.